it's been really interesting just talking to people around the league too about these interviews, because I think a lot of people are curious how this works. Well, obviously a lot of these teams have to do it over Zoom. All right, so what does that look like? The Chicago Bears, for example, that first round, with the exception of Mike McCarthy, who they flew in privately and sat with him in person, was all virtual. And
well, the Mike McCarthy thing is weird too. They flew him in private. That's not normally how they do things.
No.
Is that an indication on how serious they are about him? You just glossed over that. I'm like,
absolutely. They interviewed Mike Vrabel, and they did it over Zoom, right? And they had the ability to fly him in.
Yeah,
that tells you where that is, and the seriousness, and the stage they're at, right? Because this thing is starting to, for sure. Everything's starting to heat up here. It's been slow because the league wants it to slow down, and that's why all these rules are in place, but I've come to find out that all the organizations that are looking for head coaches, they actually all do it a little differently. They all have their own twists on how they've been doing these interviews. Okay, so one organization, when you say, I will meet with you, they send you a packet, an email with, all the information you need about the Zoom, with basically the bios of everybody you're going to meet with, what they are about, who they are, what they've accomplished, and then a list of questions, dozens of questions about who you grew up, looking up to, who's your hero, who's your favorite player, just really basic football questions.
Really?
And they're sent out to some of these candidates before their interview, so they at least can prep.
That's funny.
And then other organizations are like, here's the link, see you there.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. Like, hey, you're not getting anything. You come and impress us. We're interviewing you, but you're interviewing us too. Like, that's how I'd imagine. Like, hey, I'd have 1,000 questions for the Chicago Bears if I'm Mike McCarthy more than anything else. Like, Correct. What do you do in this situation? Like, but I guess
Jets,
it's like if you've been a first time, how's the ownership working with you, buddy? Like all that stuff.
He's like, whoever's sitting there is like, all right, Woody, just bring up Brick and Jack. Just do it.
Your son's coming to the meeting too?
Just kidding, Jets fans. Stop freaking out.
Stop freaking out.
Kidding him, kind of. So we talked about this last show too. There's one team that was asking a lot of just personal questions and then just stopped and said, okay, look up on the screen. Explain what you would do in this situation and how you'd use your timeouts, right? Kind of try to keep them on their toes while they're in the middle of just having conversations.
These are grown men trying to trick other grown men.
It's unbelievable, right?
This whole process is ridiculous.
Meanwhile, the people asking the questions probably don't even know the right answer, right?
No, they don't. They don't know what they want half the time.
So I love finding out about this stuff because it is interesting on how different businesses, we'll call them, different clubs are approaching this. And we've talked about it, since this started, where, you see the Jets and the Bears, just the list is so long. And we talked with Bruce about the whole Marcus Freeman thing in Chicago. I want to watch that. I'm not saying that because I know something's happening. I'm saying it because there's just things that make sense to me when I think of Marcus Freeman there.
I think it's a complete leverage play for Freeman to get paid at Notre Dame. You don't think you think it's real?
Yeah. I think there's more there. I think we're going to learn more after. I think soon as that game wraps up and he gets a second to catch his breath, we're going to find out more. But until then, the smart teams are going to have plans. You have to have a plan, right? Like if you're Kevin Warren, you can't sit there going, Marcus is our guy, and then you lose Ben Johnson to the Raiders, and Marcus turns you down. Then you're in trouble.
Tell me a situation where a college coach has ever really been super successful in the NFL, other than Pete Carroll. Like there has not been a lot. Like look at the Urban Meyer debacle, right? Like that's just one, but like there's a lot of college coaches.
You've seen in
Chip
and out.
Kelly.
I've seen Bill O'Brien go in and out. I mean, he's NFL, but like he went back to college, and now he's at Boston College. I can't believe Billy didn't get any opportunities this round. I figured someone would call Bill O'Brien. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart offensive mind. Yeah. You see what he's doing at Boston College right now? He's doing a great job.
I have. No, we beat him at Mizzou, so yeah, I saw that for sure.
I love when he gets spicy. Spicy cheese. So, look, we're going to find out a lot more after January 20th. Those in-person interviews will begin, and this thing will start shaking out. Thanks for tuning into Scoop City. If you want to hear more, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop our new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.